Sometimes in life, we just need to hit that reset button, rebalance, refocus, and find a way to keep moving forward. That's kind of what's happening in our housing market here on the Space Coast right now. Our active inventory seems to have leveled off around the 5,500 mark. Yeah, that's much higher than we were last year and slightly higher than we were at in January. The last 5 months, our active inventory averaged 5,431 properties, and we ended June with 5,426 properties on the market. I'd say that's pretty stable. New inventory, new listings come on the market. You could see that we're down from where we were at in 2024. But this graph shows the last 10 years of new inventory for the first 6 months of the year, and we're right in line with what the trends were. You could see where the high was at last year, and you could see in 2020 where the new inventory kind of drops off, and that's thanks to COVID. Looking at our sales, our closed properties, this is where we're stabilizing in our market. We are trailing the sales we had in 2024 so far this year in 2025. And even though it's on this graph, you can't compare what happened from 2021 to 2023 because of the hyper sellers market. We are more in line with sales that were happening from 2016 to 2019. And as you can see from this graph, yes, we're behind a little in 2025, but we're not too far off from the trends that were happening in the past 10 years. When you take our 5,500 or so active listings and divide it by the 1,100 or so sales that are happening, this puts us at a 5-month supply of properties available. Being over a 5-month supply, it's only happened a couple times in the last 9 years. We'd have to go way back to 2011 and 2012 where we consistently had inventory well over the 5-month supply. And hopefully for the remainder of 2025, this is the highest our inventory level will be. We did end the month of June with a 4.69 supply of properties available. The time frame it's taking for a property to sell here in 2025, well, it's taking just a little bit longer, which really isn't a surprise when you see an increase of active properties on the market for buyers to choose from. So far, year to date in 2025, it's taken on average 71 days for a property to go under contract and sell. This compared to the 53 days it took for the same time period in 2024. But if we go back and look at the 100 plus days on market it took for properties to sell back in 2011, I think we're doing okay. The average sales price and the median sales price are also indicators of what's happening in our market. Based upon what's happened in 2025 compared to 2024, our market as a whole appears to be stabilizing for prices. Average sales price is extremely close when you're comparing this year to last year, and the average sales prices are still higher than what we saw in 2023, 22, and 2021. And looking at the median sales price, we can see almost the identical trends are happening with median sales price. The interest rate is something important that we always need to keep an eye on, because what happens to the interest rate will have a direct impact on our real estate market. You can see we spiked to over 7% in 2022, and then things pulled back into the mid and upper 6% range. Interest rates spiked again to 7.79 in October 2023, and then pulled back to the high 6s. This has been our new reality for the last 18 months or so, with interest rates somewhere in the mid to upper 6% range. If this interest rate remains about the same, our sales will probably remain about the same from what we're seeing now, maybe trending a little bit up. If interest rates drops to the lower 6s or even the high 5s, we'll certainly see an influx of buyers coming back to the marketplace. And if interest rates jump to over 7%, we'll either see semi-consistent sales from where they've been for the last 12 months, but more than likely a slight pullback of the number of closings that we've been having. Really, we've had higher interest rates or the threat of higher interest rates since October 2022, and buyers who have been shopping over the last couple of years are just getting into the market. This is the new reality for you buying a property here on the Space Coast. Do you have any predictions for the remainder of 2025 for our housing market? Like to hear from you. Let's talk condos in Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral. This market, really not just beachside, but throughout the county, they've been taking a beating. Active inventory reached 300 properties available starting 2025, which is a record high, or the highest I've ever seen it since I've been a real estate agent in Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral. Fortunately, though, it seemed to crest or peak in April, where we had 359 properties on the market. We ended the month of June with 307 active condos in Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral. Condo sales overall compared to last year seem softer, but they seem to be more consistent month over month with the number of closings. The highlight of condo sales for the first half of 2025 in Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral was the closings for the Surf condominium complex. This was the first brand new condo complex in Cocoa Beach to be completed since 2016 and 2009 before that. So we don't see much in ways of new construction for condominiums in the Cocoa Beach area. One of the gray clouds over the condo market is the cost or how high the condo fees have gotten, and also the threat of possible special assessments. Even though there are some condominiums that have actually lowered their monthly condo fees, they are still trending up as a whole. In the first half of 2024, the average condominium fee for Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral was $646 a month compared to $733 a month in 2025. And the special assessments that we are seeing are either for upcoming concrete work that needs to be done or adding money into the reserves so they can handle future projects. Looking at what's happening with the average and median sales prices for the condominiums beachside, we probably need to put an asterisk for the average sales price for the first couple months in Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral because of the closing the sales of the Surf condominiums. Most of the 25 sales happened in either February or March, and that's why there's an uptick on the average sales price. And if we look at the median sales price for condos in Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral, we can see these median sales prices are trending down, and I believe the median sales price is a better indication of what's happening with the values in a particular area. So what do you think? Is this a good time to consider buying a condo near the beach? Let's head to the mainland and talk about what's happening in the Viera area. This has always been a magnet for new buyers moving into our area. They're either looking for new construction and or wanting to live in a large master plan community. Sales in this area are pretty consistent and values are steadily rising. Inventory, like the rest of the county, we are slightly higher than we were at the beginning of the year. Total sales, the transactions that are happening, it's kind of even Steven. We are equal to where things were at midpoint of 2024. It's taken 10 days longer on average for a property to sell this year, and the total month supply of inventory in the Sun Tree Viera area is 3.15 months supply, which is definitely a seller's market. Looking at the average sales price, it is trending up over where we were at last year, and the median sales price took a big jump over 2024. Even though there's signs of a softer market throughout most of Brevard County, I just don't see that happening in the Viera Sun Tree area. So the big question is, will our market crash? There's always that chance, but based upon the trends that I'm seeing in 2025 for the first 6 months, I just don't see that happening. It does appear that we're in a transitional phase right now. There's some sections of Brevard County where we're seeing prices pull back, and except for the condo market, I don't anticipate or see prices falling back to pre-pandemic levels for Brevard County as a whole. So what are your predictions for the housing market in the second half of 2025? If you have any questions about this or an upcoming move, I am here to help. This QR code will take you to my calendar. Let's schedule a time that works for you to have a conversation, and my contact information is below. I'm also queuing up 2 more videos here for you to watch next. My name is Eric Larkin with Real Brokers. I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see ya on the next show.